Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be playing Nezglekt carry, putting out lots of damage with chilling gaze. Without further ado, let's get into the divinations, the decks, the perks, and the pathing. For our divinations, we rolled 1 basic and 11 fast, taking a bookworm and a clairvoyance, a rain of fanaticism and a chant of initiative, a scroll of speed, a helping hand, and a trace, a scry, a flash, and a detection, a flash and a vigilance, a fortune telling and a trace, a rain and a clarity, an ice lance, a scry, and an upgraded flash, a frost nova upgraded, a clarity, another clarity, and finally a setup. Let's head into town, where we'll go through the decks and the character setups. We're about to head out of Act 1 town, so let's go through the decks, starting with Andrin. We're of course playing Trace for deck manipulation, and Double Vigilance for innate card draw. Uproot is to apply vulnerable to enemies, and we're playing Scavenge setup to chain through the deck, ultimately searching for Chant of Initiative and Expert Tracker. The beneficiary of Chant of Initiative is always going to be Laia, and preferably Evelyn too. Because Laia is going to be faster, at least initially, Expert Tracker is going to Laia to kick off the Inspire chain. Once we've passed the turn to Laia, we're trying to spend our 4 energy on a Benediction, a Lay on Pause, both on Nezglekt, and ideally a Piercing Howl, slowing the enemies and applying Vulnerable. Excess cards will hopefully be Helping Hand, Scry, and Inner Fire. Inner Fire would go on Nezglekt, Scry would be a combination across Evelyn and Nezglekt. We'll do at least 1 Inspire on Evelyn typically, and the rest of the Inspire will be funneled to Nezglekt. It's worth noting that we're playing Delay Response, but no Detoxify. Because Laia is going to go first, we will Delay Response Nezglekt, and then just remove the slow from Helping Hand or Clarity. Then Evelyn would typically go next, and she has Scrolls of Speed to make Nezglekt fast again, which is why we're not playing Detoxify in this instance. Potentially in Act 2 we'll bring it in, but for Act 1 it's not needed. Evelyn will be going next, and ideally we'd find a transmission to give Nezglekt Inspire and Energy. We're obviously looking for Rains and Frost Novas. Evelyn will also be applying Scroll of Speed to Nezglekt. Typically, this will be a blue Scroll of Speed that will fetch out the deck with Bookworm, and in the early game more often than not, we'll be tracing over or scrying over this innate Scroll of Speed so that we can make Nezglekt as fast as possible. Once we pass the turn to Nezglekt, the goal is simple, to play a Holy Storm, and preferably preceded by a Holy Spite. We have Inner Fires for powerful uptime, and don't forget we have an Inner Fire from Laia as well. Now these cards are expensive, so to play those, either we've received Energize from Evelyn's transmission, or we have the Fanaticism from the Divination. We also bought an additional Fanaticism in town. Excess energy will be spent on low-cost AoEs like Clairvoyance, Dawnlight, and Holy Nova, and any additional cards we have free damage with Flash to finish enemies off. Before we discuss perks, let's touch on the equipment. When I first opened the seed, I saw a Cloak of Evasion in the Act 1 town. This makes Fanaticism incredible because it blanks the damage. And so as we move to the perks, you'll see on Nezglekt, I actually perked an additional Evasion so that we could play 2 Fanaticism without taking any damage at all, essentially making these a mana gem. If we didn't find that armor, we could still have a Fanaticism and just yo-yo Nezglekt's health up and down with Lay on Pause from Laia, which is a nuke heal. So in the absence of the evasion armor, we could still Fanaticism and just heal Nezglekt back up in subsequent fights and do the same thing as we continue through Act 1. Going back to the perks, Nezglekt was quite perk intensive, so we couldn't afford much gold. We're trying to make him as least slow as possible. And in the late game, there's a small chance that we might play Fade for a 75% damage multiplier, which is why we perked Stealth. In the early game, as you can see, we're doing holy damage, so I went all the way down this tree, and of course we're doing the Bless, deals 1.5, but no longer increases healing received. In the mid to late game, we're going to be converting Nezglekt's damage to cold, so we went all the way through the cold tree, and we also went all the way down the chill tree. Finally, in order to do an OTK, we of course need the powerful increases damage by 10%, but loses all charges at the end of the turn. As for Evelyn, we were able to go all golden shards. We're using Scrolls of Speed, which is why we're perking fast, and there's a small chance that we'll play Shock Nova, which is why I perked slow. We obviously go all the way down the speed tree. As for physical, she'll be pitching in by allowing vulnerable charges to be increased by 1. In the elemental tree, she'll also be pitching in with some damage of her own, as well as applying chill to the enemies. We of course go wet as well, because we're playing a cold comp, and the Inspire draws 2 perk, which I really like on our support characters. For Laia, we went full golden shards, full speed, and we're playing Piercing Howl, so we went slow. From Act 2 onwards, there's a chance we'll be playing Detoxify, which is why I went Buffer. We're applying Bless, which is why we did this 1 perk in the Mystical Tree, and then we are applying a lot of Powerful as well. As I mentioned on support characters, I like the Inspire draws 2 perk. As it relates to physical, we're doing extra vulnerable because of Piercing Howl, and then I went a little bit down the block tree because I had some spare perks. Not because I'm actually planning to do any conventional blocking, but if we are able to get a Fanaticism on Laia and an item that grants us block at the start of the turn, there's a chance that we'll just be able to blank the Fanaticism damage on Laia with the additional block from this tree. So that was the thinking there at least. As for Andrin, we went full golden shards, fast because we're playing Chant of Initiative. We're trying to make Andrin himself as fast as possible. And we might play Rupture or Captivating Voice, so we went slow, and we will absolutely be playing Wolfie, and I'll talk about why shortly. We went Mark for Wild Hunt, and Evasion just in case we're playing Ballad of Evasion late game. We're pitching in to make Nezglekt's Fade do 25% stealth instead of 20% stealth damage. We're playing Uproot and Wolfie, so we went Vulnerable, and then we're chipping in by making Wet do additional cold damage per charge. So that's the game plan. Let's head out of town, and a caveat, we're not doing the optimal high score pathing, therefore I didn't spend a bunch of time re-rolling seeds. Ideally there would be a little purple settlement node down here, but we couldn't quite find it for this one. We're going to be going up to the caravan, across here to the main road, then up where we'll take a fight against the farmer, jump into the hatch, we'll be going north in the hatch, fighting the imp and then bLCAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAA forest border, down to the Dryad where we'll pick up the Forest Crown, and then up onto Ylmir. In the caravan, there was nothing really good here in my opinion, so we didn't buy anything, but we're going to stop there for a little bit of extra score regardless. And then I'll see you in Fight 1 to check if we can OTK. Alright, we have a pretty straightforward one. We're going to Vigilance into a setup. I've been through the turn, so I know what's coming. We're going to Trace, getting rid of Detection and Deflect, keeping Uproot, Adrenaline, Chant, and Expert Tracker. We'll Vigilance into the Uproot, and then set up. Now, in order to afford all these cards, we're going to have to put the Trace back, such that we can Adrenaline up to 3 energy, Chant, Chant, Uproot for vulnerable application. And now Laia's going to go first, so they'll be the beneficiary of Expert Tracker. This 7 looks very good to me, so I'm going to pass the turn. We'll start with a delay response like we spoke about in Nezglekt, and then just removing this slow with Helping Hand. We will give Evelyn an Inspire to continue the Inspire chain. Inner Fire, Piercing Howl for additional vulnerable. We'll Benediction Nezglekt, and we're really looking for Holy Storm. So I think I can get rid of this Flash, get rid of this Fanaticism, get rid of this Inner Fire, and probably get rid of... no, we'll keep both the AoEs. We'll find it. We have 2 Expected Prophecies in Nezglekt's deck. We'll pull our Scroll of Speed out. We will Scroll of Speed Nez. We found the transmission that we really wanted to hit. We'll Rain a couple of times. And sure, we'll hit the Pumbaa. Passing the turn to Nezglekt. Now, we do have Holy Storm in the deck still. So what I'm going to do is Inner Fire to go down to 8 cards and then draw, putting Expected Prophecy back. We will evade our own Fanaticism, and we'll start things with a Holy Smite on Pumbaa to give ourselves some Bless, and then now we can Holy Storm. That does a lot of damage. This is pretty crazy, and we have a lot of overkill here on Pumbaa. So very good. That feels very strong. I'm feeling pretty good about the start here. And I don't think we're going to take anything here and keep moving forward. Okay, first Corruptor. We're up against Thorn Proliferation. Now I know there's a couple of deflects on the top of the deck. then I also know there's a chance of initiative. So I'm going to trace myself, get rid of these, put setup into the discard pile, scavenge it back, draw with setup, and put detection back. Now things are going to be a little bit different this time. We only have one chant of initiative because we absolutely need uproot. I'm going to chant of initiative Evelyn this time, an expert tracker as well. This looks great. We got double transmission. That's fantastic. We will trace Nezglekt, getting rid of, I think, Inner Fire, and the rest of this looks pretty good, to be honest. Maybe a flash as well. Then we will uproot, passing the turn. I'm going to be very mindful not to play too many cards here. We'll play the bare minimum that we absolutely need. So we'll 100% transmission Laia, we'll 100% transmission Nezglekt. Scroll of Speed to get ahead of Jasper, and Scroll of Speed. Not playing any of these Rains, not required. Now, we will Inner Fire, we will Benediction, we will lay on pause, which actually gives a tiny buff on Zeal, damage done plus 3% because Nezglekt is on fire. And we will Clarity Nez, so he draws 8. So let's see. Okay, we did not find the our Holy Storm again. This is funny. We've double fanaticism. Okay, here's the Holy Storm. So I'm going to put expected back. We're obviously going to Inner Fire to start with, and going to go ahead and Holy Storm. Very nice. We will fanaticism. Dawnlight, Clairvoyance, and finishing things off with a double flash. We took quite a lot of damage there, but this is why Lay on Pause is so good, because in the subsequent fights we'll do huge heals to Nezglekt to get him back up. And there we have it. Very nice. I think I will take an extra delay response on Laia here, and nothing on any of the other characters. As a quick reminder, we extort the farmer to get the fight for more XP with a critical failure. One of the nice things about playing Nezglekt carry is that you actually have a chance to read their minds and get into the hatch without taking any broken bones, so that's a nice little upside there. Alright, we're at the Corruptor fight just before the Imp statue against Heavenly Armaments, which is quite tough because it makes them a little bit tankier, and we have to finish this on round 1 for the Excellent. Let's go through it together. I'm going to get rid of all of these, keeping setup and scavenge. I'm going to set up through the deck, put low self-esteem back. We're going to chant Evelyn, and we're not going to expert tracker her, we're going to expert tracker Laia. Getting rid of these, keeping Helping Hand, Lay on Pause, Benediction. We're going to aggressively trace Nezglekt, getting rid of anything that is not an AoE. We'll scavenge back the trace, and do the same thing again on Nezglekt, getting rid of the Holy Smite this time. Pass the turn to Evelyn. This wolf is quite fast, 22, so we're going to speed up Nez, speed up Laia, going to transmission Nez, pass the turn to Laia, where we have a piercing howl to slow the wolf down. He can slow us, which can be very problematic. We'll bless Nezglekt a couple of times. We'll inspire him. And here, I think we're looking in very good shape, so we'll keep all those. Okay, we'll Inner Fire. We need powerful, so we're digging for Inner Fire. We have a Fanaticism. We'll draw. Put the low self-esteem back. We can Fanaticism ourselves again without taking damage. We'll draw. And we'll put the low self-esteem back. We've found our Inner Fire. We have 8 energy, and we have 8 energy to spend. Let's go through all of our AoEs. And we'll get Bacon down. Just. God, this is such a tough fight. It's always so horrific getting to this one. Here, I don't think we'll take anything, and we'll keep moving forward. Here I'm skipping to Nezglekt's pop-off turn against the Imp. We actually got a card remove against the Heavenly Armaments, so we took out those nasty curses, and we picked up this Inner Fire on Nezglekt too. So we're going to do that. We're going to Fanaticism again, and we'll draw. getting that last inner fire to put us up to 7 powerful. And let's go. Let's Holy Smite. Very nice. And you can see we do a lot of damage to the imp. And now this is a big deal because we're about to hit level 2. Ooh, I'll definitely take this bookworm on Evelyn. That's nice. And I think I'll take the Holy Nova on Nezglekt as well. Actually, no, we could probably leave that behind. Yes, you can see, look, we're level 2. This is ginormous, so enchant weapons is going to be unbelievable, as well as chilling gaze. This is what we're doing on Nezglekt. It's going to be awesome. I'll show you just how much damage this does. So we'll come here and we'll take the boon. I think this is pretty close to being on Laia, Nezglekt, or Evelyn. I think ultimately probably makes sense to put this on Nezglekt, to be honest. So we'll drink it, and I'll see you shortly in the dALbvL fight. Okay, here we go. Now, to start with, I'm going to Vigilance. I already know that the top cards of my deck are quite good, so I'm going to put a Trace back. That way we can proc Wild Hunt and start accumulating a lot of mark. I'm going to Trace myself. I think getting rid of Uproot Chant like this. Yeah, let's do that. We will scavenge back our setup. We'll draw a few times. We'll put back this chant. All detection. Look at this build up. Perfect. And we will do this. Okay, excellent. Oh, awesome. We get enchant weapons as well as transmission. That's really nice. So we will trace, in this case, I think Nezglekt. This all looks... We don't need much AoE. We're just looking for single target damage and chilling gaze. And wait till you see how much damage chilling gaze does. It is absolutely awesome. Let's do this. I'm actually not going to Frost Nova him, just deliberately, so that you can see how much chilling gaze is capable of. Especially when we frost weapons like this. It's going to be so good. Okay, let's do that. I think... let's do this on Nez. Yeah, like that. Yeah, so I'm not going to Frost Nova. Okay, we'll pass the turn. We will simply give some Inspire and just a little bit of Bless, and we'll pass the turn. Okay, can we draw into it? We have pretty good deck manipulation, so we'll Fanaticism to begin with. We will expect it. Okay, we found it. All right, I'm going to put back... I don't think we're going to need another card. I'm going to put back Expected Prophecy. We'll inner fire ourselves, so we're up to powerful. We'll Chilling Gaze. Okay, I think we have 4 cards. I think we can kill him. Okay. That's 1 card. 2 cards. 3 cards. We killed him with Chilling Gaze. It does so much damage. Oh, God, it's so good. Might take the Dawnlight here, just because we'll change it to a 1 cost. You just want lots of AoEs to proc the Chilling Gaze, and we'll keep moving forward. Alright, we're on our way up to Ylme. And I just wanted to highlight the situation because we're against the Sub-Zero Corruptor, which increases the enemy's resistances specifically to the damage type that we're doing. I fast-forwarded to Nezglekt's turn, and unfortunately, we did not get enchant weapons on Evelyn. That being said, our boy the Squid will still find a way, so we'll Fanaticism, we'll Chilling Gaze, and we're on 4 powerful here, so we're going to find our inner fire. And you can see, even though the enemies are quite resistant because of the Corruptor, just having small AoEs, it still does a really good chunk of damage. It's very, very strong, so it may look like this is bad, but it is really not that much of a hindrance. We can still get them down. Okay, here we are against Ylme, and we crit succeeded the roll, so we start with fast, powerful, and some vitality. I'm going to trace myself, ditch these, and we'll draw and draw. Unfortunately, I have to trace myself again, putting setup into the discard pile, grabbing it back out, and we'll put an uproot back on top of the deck and do a detection. Perfect. We're going to expert tracker, and we don't need any of our speed cards because if you see here, all of our heroes are already going in the correct order and we're already going ahead of the enemy, so we can get rid of all that stuff. I think I'll keep one rain and a cold spark, and we're really hoping to get enchant weapons, so perfect. We drew into that. We'll cold spark to begin with because it's predicated on hand size. We'll rain twice. Then we will use this book when we picked up a shifting scroll along the way. I'm going to use that actually here to get a Frost Nova instead of this Ice Lance. We'll cast the Frost Nova. We're going to continue the Inspire chain by putting Transmission on Laia, and of course Frost Weapons on Nezglekt. With Laia, we're going to Expected Prophecy. We have 5 energy, so we can't afford all these cards. I'll put back Piercing Howl for now. We'll Detox Nez and Inner Fire, putting him at full powerful, and of course Delay Response, giving Bless. We'll Scry Nezglekt, getting rid of Dawnlight and Inner Fire, keeping Flash. I like the 0 cost cards because we're going to throw them all at Ylmer with Chilling Gaze up. I think that Dawnlight, we can probably get rid of that and pass the turn to Nez. Okay, Squidward, let's see what you got. We're chaining through our deck, of course. And we will Expected Prophecy, perfect, into Holy Storm. So we have 7 energy. Unfortunately, we can't afford this Clairvoyance, but I don't think it's going to matter. Let's Holy Smite to begin with, to put Bless on ourselves. And then we'll Holy Storm, and this is going to proc. Very good. So proc Chilling Gaze a whole bunch. We'll Flash. And we'll Flash, and we had 2 flashes with procs to spare. Each hit is dealing 66 cold damage with every single card, every single proc. So that's Ylmer down, and Chilling Gaze, as you can see, it's a pretty slept on card. Nezglekt is so good in many, many other ways, but you know, Chilling Gaze is incredible. So I'm actually going to skip all of these, it looks like. I know Find Weakness is tempting, but I'll skip it and we'll cover why shortly. Let's take a look in the chest. I'm not sure if I covered this, but Cloak of Evasion is upgraded now on Nezglekt, so if we find another Fanaticism, I'm probably going to take it. We already have our Woolly Hat on Laia. Cloak of Evasion is kind of the same. We don't have the Evasion perk on Laia, otherwise I would consider taking Cloak of Evasion. And I actually think I'm going to keep Woolly Hat. They both block Fanaticism, but what's interesting is against the Parasites Noxious, if you draw the Parasite, it knocks off your Evasion, the little hatch card. But Woolly Hat, it just takes a little bit of the block off Woolly Hat. So I think there's some fringe instances where maybe Woolly Hat is a little bit better for our Fanaticism plan. Runic Dice is a little bit tempting. Could put it on Evelyn. And I'll talk about this horseshoe in a second. Maybe that was a mistake. So we'll not take anything here. And you know how sometimes in life people suffer from a midlife crisis and they wake up one morning in bed and say, I'm just going to let loose. Just do something crazy today and live a little bit. Well, today, on our high scoring run, we're going to path through Feyborg. Typically, when we're high scoring, we will always go to Velkrath. That's because we get 3 mini bosses and lots of fights to the arena. And then on the current patch, the optimal path is also through Aquafall. But as you can see here, it's actually pretty close between Aquafall and Feyborg. They both have 7 corruptor nodes each. And if you look at first glance, Feyborg has 3 nodes, whereas Aquafall only has 1. But the big difference that pushes Aquafall ahead of Feyborg for score is that the 1 node that's available is the Rift, which is a fight, and the 3 in Feyborg are non-fight nodes. So net, I think it's about 200-ish, 200 or 300 points different in score. So we would sacrifice, 200 points to come to Feyborg, and the Feyborg path is really fun, in particular for a cold comp like this. But look, sacrificing 200 points, that's That's a heavy price to pay. I'm not willing to sacrifice 200 points for a more pleasurable gameplay experience. Maybe if it was 20 or 30 difference, I'd come to Feyborg more, but 200 to have fun, nah, it's not worth it in my opinion. The route here is really fun though. So there are a couple of things. Number one, we come up here to the gateway. We come across to the trainer, and this is fun thing number one, is we upgrade the pet. And so if we are high scoring here, I always buy Wolfie, and we'll just get upgraded Wolfie and have speed control for days on Andrin, which is amazing. We come across, we don't go into the sewers here. We come across past the frozen house, and then Binks lets us come down the ladder. So that gets us through the back route into the sewers. And then I'm going to pull up the sewer graphic because it's a little bit hard to explain on the overground map. And you can see that we go up and to the left, and that is a slime node where we pick up the chill slime. And we'll get another one in Act 4, which will be amazing. We'll split them for a bunch of cold application. And going across gets us an extra corruptor node. And we obviously fight the Rat King, pop out, and then up onto the boss. And so the second major thing is we get this slime node, which for a cold comp is absolutely incredible. And the third really cool thing is we pick up freezing ink, which is going to be unbelievable on Evelyn in this comp. So yeah, Feyborg, really, really fun. 200 point sacrifice, probably not worth it in my opinion. But look, if you want a high score through here, feel free to do so. The other thing I'll mention is that when we're seed rolling, there are these 3 nodes all have to appear, right? You definitely want the pet trainer. Binks is a must. You have to get Binks just to get down. And then you have to have the slime node to get access to the additional corruptor fight. So if you're actively looking for Feyborg, it's harder to roll because all those things need to appear versus Aquafall. So that's why I'm joking about coming here, because I don't often come here these days because of the 200 point loss. And let's head into town. Okay, we're about to head out. So let's go through each character, starting with Evelyn. We have our 2 bookworms, one of which, of course, will be grabbing the blue scroll of speed, and the other will grab a scroll of intellect. I didn't need to make this innate just because we have this bookworm, so we can always guaranteed pull this out the deck. We have Cold Snap, and I upgraded this, costs a lot of shards, but Cold Snap is fantastic in conjunction with Shifting Scroll because you can pull the key cards out the deck, Frost Nova in this case, ditch them into the discard pile, get them back for free with Cold Snap. It's fantastic value. We cut Transmission, we kept 1. We do still want to draw 1 if possible. And one thing that you might have noticed is that Cold Spark is gone, Evelyn's class card. And I think in this instance, at least through the back end of the game, we'll have more than enough chill, but we might be light on wet. So I think I'd rather have rain in a vacuum because we'll probably get to 200 chill. I'm already planning ahead for the late game. And so we'll keep rain, get rid of Cold Spark, Evelyn's character card. We'll do Andrin next, and if you've watched any of my videos, you probably recognize the deck structure. It's very similar. I think the only difference is I don't normally take detection in Act 2, but here I think it'd be quite good with Chilling Gaze because we're going to proc it so many times, and the mark will help. Despite getting upgraded Wolfie guaranteed coming shortly, we're still taking this Captivating Voice. There's some fringe instances where I think we can actually Captivating Voice the fastest units. We'll apply Wolfie and Slow to the rest of the units, and then we can chill them even further to the point where we actually don't need to use our scrolls of speed, and we can trace over them or not fetch them eventually with Bookworm. So that's the thinking here. And in general, I tend to over-index on speed control just because it's so important. So that covers Andrin. As for Laia, we of course have the 2 delay responses and the Detoxify combo, and we took out the Benedictions and the Inner Fires because we can now do all the same thing in 1 card, Divine Power, which we'll be looking to convert to the overchargeable version as soon as possible. We bought this Fanaticism because of our armor, and that'll help us fuel the overchargeable Divine Power when we eventually get it. And we took out the Clarities because we have a pretty good amount of Inspire for Nezglekt. And I like keeping Helping Hand ahead of Clarity for a couple of reasons. Number 1, it procs Duality. I find that we have a shortage of Warrior cards more than Priest cards, so we keep Helping Hand to proc Duality. And secondly, Helping Hand does not purge Fury. I don't think we'll be playing Fury on Nezglekt, but it's annoying if you have, the Fury armor or something like that, and you end up purging it with Clarity, whereas Helping Hand avoids that altogether. You may be looking at the deck and saying, hold on, why are you not talking about repair armor? I'm about to get there. The answer is we are extremely afraid of Thorn's Proliferation. And we actually perked a little bit of block in this run. And so repair armor is going to give Nezglekt a little bit of block, as well as, most importantly, the reinforce, just to stop Thorn's Proliferation, which we're extremely afraid of. There are some comps that are more susceptible to Thorn's Proliferation, and in Act 2 specifically, this is one. In Act 3, we'll have access to Celestial Brilliance, which is a Purge 1 on Nezglekt, but between now and Act 3, we are so exposed to Thorn Proliferation, which is why I'm playing the Repair Armor, to be prudent. And that brings us to the Squid, old Nezzy. And there's something missing from Nezglekt's deck. The Holy Storm that carried us through Act 1, sorry, is no longer. With Chilling Gaze, we really want to proc this as many times as possible. And I find, spending 5 energy to proc it twice versus we're going to have so much card draw with Nez. We really just want as many cheap AoEs as possible. So I don't think the Holy Storm is required anymore. We have these Holy Novas, Dawnlight, Clairvoyance. That's what we want to be doing instead, starting with the Holy Smite. The other thing I'll add is Penance, or Penance, as they say in France, is pretty good single target damage. It's a repeat 2 for 2 energy. So when it comes to the champion unit and the final boss, this will proc Chilling Gaze quite a few times for a really cheap energy investment. From an equipment standpoint, I have this Horseshoe on Nezglekt for one reason and one reason only. After Binks, we're almost certainly going to fail a roll into the sewers. I'm not going to node manipulate, and I just want to avoid that curse. We may or may not get a card removed, but I don't really want to have the curse in Nezglekt's deck, so the Horseshoe will guarantee no curse. We corrupted the Cloak of Evasion in Act 1, and so I'm actively looking for another Fanaticism. I'll play as many Fanaticisms as we have Evasion stacks, and I'll carry this all the way through to the final bosses. It's going to be incredible, because we can just give ourselves 6 energy at no life cost. On Evelyn, I was quite greedy and bought Rifty on Evelyn instead of Nezglekt. Typically, I like to put Rifty on the carry. And the reason that we did this is, first of all, Evelyn can apply Chill. She's very good at that, as you know, and Rifty's going to help with that. And secondly, because we get the Chill blob in the sewers, I was going to have that go on Nezglekt, because Evelyn's going to apply a lot of Chill with the Frost Novas, and then the blob will multiply Chill by 0.3. So the thinking was, put the blob on Nezglekt for more Chill application. And the reason that's greedy is because typically Rifty is very good into Thorn's Proliferation, which I mentioned we're very, very afraid of. And it's good to put this on the carry because it purges right at the very end. In this case now, because it's on Evelyn, Rifty's going to purge the Thorns, then Evelyn's going to play her cards, then Laia's going to play her cards. So this is a little bit of a greed. Probably the prudent thing to do would be to put Rifty on Nezglekt and put the Cold Slime on Evelyn for now, and we'll swap Rifty out in Act 4. But I was a little bit greedy here. From Laia's equipment, we have the Woolly Hat, which is designed to blank the Fanaticism. You can see here it says Fanaticism, 22 damage. And we perked our block. So this is xwEAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAA really trying to ditch this war banner, because Laia's going to start with 4 powerful, and until this war banner is gone, our fanaticism is going to do like 25, 26 damage to ourselves, which is quite funny. So at this point, a blank equipment would be better than war banner. This is actively hurting us, because divine power is just going to give Nezglekt full powerful, so we don't need the war banner anymore. Then on Andrin, we, of course, I mentioned this a couple of times, we're buying Wolfie for the pet trainer upgrade. And overall, this is a little bit, I didn't buy any items in town. This is a little bit gold intensive. We're going to run straight into the beggars at the gates. They're going to ask us for a lot of money, and we're not going to be able to afford the options that gives us the most XP, which is unfortunate, but this is the setup. heading into Act 2. Okay, let's head out, and we're going to go to the Beggars at the Gates. You do get more experience the more gold you give. We just spent a ton of money, so we're not going to do this. I'm not fully min-maxing anyway. And for those of you that know, giving the woman 200 gold allows you to go to the armory to pick up Paladin Gauntlets, which is an extremely popular route. And I sometimes wonder, do they split it 50-50 at the end of the day? And if they don't, this woman must have so much money. So many players get the Paladin Gauntlets. Who's giving her financial advice that you have to come back and beg? Or is it just a scam, you know? Do they declare it? I assume it's taxable. Anyway, we'll figure that out on the next run. I feel sorry for this guy. He must look across and be like, what the hell? She has so much money. So I'm going to give him the 200 gold. That being said, he expected to get more money from us. I just gave you 40% of my net worth, dude. And I'm saving a princess here. Okay, next time I'll give the woman money. That's what you get for being charitable. It's very ungrateful. Let's go ahead and upgrade Wolfie. This is going to be extremely powerful, and we'll jump into the first fight. We get Sub-Zero. So the enemies are going to be really resistant to our damage types, and let's see if we can get them down with our Act 2 setup. Okay, straight out to the gate here. Wolfie doing its thing. They're immune to slow, and these guys are really resistant. Saul is at 88 even after the 10 vulnerable. The Dung Beetle is at 62. Fisher is at 78. And the Intruder 87 even after the vulnerable. So this will be a really good test of our damage potential. For that reason, I'm going to keep up route, I think. I'm going to draw. We will set up, put the Scavenge back, I think, so we can afford the cards by playing Adrenaline. We'll uproot, chant Evelyn, and of course Expert Tracker Evelyn. Here, I think Shifting Scroll is probably fine to get rid of. I'll keep everything else, and we'll trace Laia. Don't need Repair Armor, that's our Thorns tech. And I'm not sure if I need this delay response. I'd rather keep digging for Divine Power, so I'm going to aggressively get rid of that. Okay, let's see how we go. So we'll start by pulling the books out of the deck. We'll apply Rain to the enemies. We're going to Transmission Laia because Nezglekt's not really going to have energy issues, so I think it's more likely that Laia needs the energy. We'll scroll of our speed our heroes up, and then we don't even need to Shifting Scroll after all here. Okay, so we do have enough energy. I'm going to Expected Prophecy, and yes, perfect, into Fanaticism. Okay, we can put this delay response back so we don't have Detoxify. And because of our stupid War Banner, I'm going to do 4 damage to myself. we'll recover through this, but it's just very annoying. We will Helping Hand, Scry. Keeping all this, this looks good to me. We will lay Piercing Howl for more vulnerable, Fortune Telling, getting rid of the Flash. We want as many AoEs as possible, and we'll get rid of the Flash, and then Divine Power Nezglekt. Perfect. Okay, Chilling Gaze is still in our deck. We have 9 cards in the hand, so I have to get rid of a card. So I'm going to Fanaticism up to 9 energy. Now we can start drawing. We'll put this Clairvoyance back. I have 9 cards again, so I'm going to Fanaticism again up to 10 energy. Play the Expected Prophecy, and put our other Expected Prophecy back. Now we'll Chilling Gaze, and we'll start with the Holy Smite on Saul Goodman over here. And then Dawn Light is Predicate on hand size, so let's see how we go if we just launch all of our AoEs. That's pretty good damage. So, even against mega resistant enemies, we can flash and flash down Mr. Goodman at the end, old Saul. Perfect, perfect. So, very happy with that. So I don't think we'll take anything here, and I'll see you in a couple of fights' time. I've skipped this fight. It was heavy weaponry. We nuked them all down, and we picked up a Scroll of Intellect on Evelyn and an additional uproot on Andrin. We go to the sewer outlet, but we're not going to the sewer. It's just a path up here, and then at the city gates. Okay. This is what I was afraid of. We'll take our free upgrade and see if we can handle a Thorn Proliferation. Okay, let's see how we go here. This is brutal. We'll trace ourselves. We're going to take a weird strategy here. if I can get more debuffs and resist reduction on them, I can actually kill them with less hits and therefore take less damage. So I'm going to actually have, or let Stormbringer hit us in order to get more debuffs on the enemies, because I think the hit from him is less damage than another AoE, if that makes sense. We have the Scroll of Intellect, so I don't need to fetch for it with Bookworm. We're not doing speed control, so I don't need these Bookworms as badly. And then we'll finish off with an Uproot. We'll let him take... Look, we don't really take much damage here. We're fine if Andrin gets hit, so I'm okay with this. We'll dig Frost Nova out. We'll Frost Nova, pull Worth back. And this is really not too bad. So let's see how we go. We'll do it like this. We won't even cast any of these, just to minimize the damage. We really need to find Lay, Repair Armor, and Divine Power. Hopefully we draw into it. Yes, we do. So we'll get rid of this Expected Prophecy. Then we have to Fanaticism. It's fine if Laia takes some damage. We'll Repair, Lay, Divine Power. I'm going to Fortune Telling Nez and just pray that we draw Chilling Gaze here. So let's pass the turn. Okay, perfect, perfect. So we'll Chilling Gaze. We're going to hit however you pronounce this guy's name. Then we will Dawnlight, Clairvoyance. And this is not bad. Okay, this is not bad. Look at this. He's got the Reinforce. He had the block. And we'll end on 40. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe there's a way for us to take less damage there. But we'll see. So I'm going to not take any of these. I'm going to take this Holy Nova, actually. We talked about how much we want low-cost AoE. Going to upgrade the Scroll of Intellect. We're going to upgrade the Divine Power. And we're going to upgrade nothing on Nezglekt. And, of course, this Uproot on Andrin. We're going to head over here to the Frozen House. It's either shards or money. And I like money. And we want to recoup some of the money we gave that guy earlier. We're going to level up. And we're going to meet Jar Jar here. And come downstairs. And I'm going to test each combination of these. And I'll rejoin you shortly to see which one does the least bad outcome. At least Nezglekt's going to get in guaranteed. Okay, we rejoin. I tested all of them. This is the least bad outcome. I'm not going to node manipulate this. So we got a Frost Nova and a Horseshoe on Nezglekt. So a couple of curses in the deck. It is what it is. We're going to come over, pick up the Chill Slime over here, take a couple of Corruptor fights, then onto the boss. So let's see how we do. Come on, game. Okay, at least we got a card remove. We just took a bunch of Thorns damage. We're about to take a bunch more. And let's see how we go. Okay. Oh, see what we can do here. I think I have to get rid of all this. We're going to do something similar where I'm going to hit this little guy, Fennec. I think we actually get rid of this Uproot. We have Vigilance. Vigilance again. We'll set up. Putting back Wild Hunt. And then we will, we'll hit Fennec. Scavenge back our Expert Tracker. Cast this on Evelyn. I think I have to do something similar as to last time. So I'm going to get rid of all their Thorns with the Uproot at least. Pass to Evelyn. I'm going to try to slow the Brutus down because Brutus is going to hit us for a lot of damage. So we'll start with the Frost Nova. We'll Cold Snap back the Frost Novas. And Frost Nova, Scroll, Laia, and Frost Weapons, Nez. I think that's it. I can't play any more cards. We'll pass. Oh god. Oh. Okay, I'm definitely gonna heal Nez. Then I think we fortune telling him as well. Okay, chilling gaze is on the top. That's good. We get rid of flash. We don't need single target. We don't need fanaticism. I think we howl, and then we'll just divine power and nothing else. No more thorns. We couldn't find our repair armor, which is very annoying. So we'll chilling gaze. We'll dawn light. Holy Nova. And flash. Oh god, okay, we're on 17. Oh, well, that's 2 in a row. I'm not going to take any of this. And for our card removes, we'll get rid of this cold feet. We'll get rid of this. I think we keep everything on Andrin. I could see an argument maybe for taking out a flash. I think I'm going to keep everything as it is. Laia's deck is good, and it's annoying me that these rains sometimes will be found from scroll of speed. Sorry, from shifting scroll. So I think I'll take this out on Evelyn's deck, and let's keep going here. We'll do. We'll sacrifice. We're not sacrificing Forest Crown. I'll sacrifice the Rift Shards for the little blob, and we're going to give the blob to Nezglekt. Okay, come on, come on. It's classic gambler's fallacy. Like, what are the chances? And the chances are the same as any other corruptor. Are you kidding me? Oh, all right. All right, let's do it. We're on our we're on our third Thorns proliferation in a row. And if anything, this is a good showcase. This is the hardest corruptor in Act 2 by a significant margin. So if we can get through this, we can get through anything. We'll put an adrenaline back here. Wild Hunt, detection. We're going to chill Brutus down, I think is going to be the strategy. This seems fine. We're just going to have to pray for some luck here. I think we get rid of all these. Just do the same thing, trying to chill the enemies down with a double or triple Frost Nova, should I say. So, okay, good. We're doing it. We're doing the thing. Let's get them back with Cold Snap. We'll chill. Come on. Nez was starting on 17 health. Oh my god, we're not casting any of these things. Okay. Oh my god, we're actually doing it. Look how good Lay on Pause is. And then this absolutely clutch repair armor. We're going to start, I think, with actually the... we'll start with Howl. Then we will Fortune. Getting rid of all this stuff. As many of these things as I think we can. Yeah, get rid of this. We'll repair armor. And then Divine Power for 1 overcharge. Okay, this actually gives us a bit of block. That's pretty cool. The slime gives us some block. We'll draw. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Okay. We'll Chilling Gaze. Dawnlight. Dawnlight. Jesus, we're actually doing it. I'll take up Thorns and keep moving forward. What do we get? I don't think we'll take this Fanaticism. We will 100% take this Corrupted Scavenge. That's an amazing pickup. Shadow Binding is quite interesting because we're not going to the Hydra. The Hydra is immune to Shackle. That being said, we have so much speed control. I don't think we need to take this, but it is an interesting card. I do like this. And then we have our third Fanaticism on Nezglekt. We said we'd like 3 because we have 3 evasion charges, so I'm definitely going to take this. And as far as card removes are concerned, I think we keep going here. God, this is so rough. Maybe it's Chant of Initiative. No, we'll keep going. Okay, please. Game. 4 Thorn Proliferation in a row. This is the one Corruptor that I said I don't want. All right. Let's give it a go. Okay, Thorn's Proliferation number 4. Let's have it. The the Lancelot is immune to slow, so I am going to have to speed control because we drew the scavenge. I'm actually just going to check what's on top. Okay, we can make this work. So I'm going to trace myself normally. Get rid of everything that's not uproot. Yeah, there's 6 cards left. I can trace myself again. Perfect. Put this setup in the bin, I think, like this. And then I can scavenge back that setup. It's free now. Perfect. And then scavenge it again. Very nice. And I think here we put back... Yeah, we put back the Captivating Voice, I think. We'll Wild Hunt. We'll chant Evelyn. We will Expert Tracker Evelyn. We have to keep the Scroll of Speed. We have to keep at least 1 Bookworm. We could probably ditch this scroll. Because we have to fetch both books out of the deck to speed manipulate ahead of the Lancelot. I don't want to take... yeah, we can't take this. So we have to speed control here. And I'm okay if Evelyn takes like a tiny bit more damage than usual, because we can't allow Nezglekt to die. So I'm going to cast a few cards, then Frost Nova. Down to 22. I think we scroll Laia, Transmission Laia, Frost Weapons, and just pray that we draw well. Oh my god. Okay, well, the step 1 is complete. Hopefully, Nez can draw well too. I'm going to just repair Divine Power and just pray again that we hit the key card. Come on, Chilling Gaze, please, 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 please. Yes. Okay, we're doing it. We're doing it. I'm gonna. What's the order here? I think I hit the front boy. We're doing like. I can't believe we ended on more health. Oh, repair this tech. I called this out in my high scoring video, but this tech has saved us so. Oh, it's been so clutch. This is why we play that card. We would have been ruined had it not been for repair armor. I don't think I'm going to take any of this. Oh, this is nice. Okay. I think we give both of these to Laia. Golden Chalice is going to be great. I prefer things like Dimensional Crystal and other potion slots, and we can finally get rid of this War Banner so that we can Fanaticism again. So I'm going to take the Proficient. That's incredible. We toiled through that and we were rewarded with this great shop here. So let's fight the king and see if we can kill him too. We got a little heal coming into this just because of the the boss fight. We found the line, so let's go through it together. We're going to Wild Hunt. We're going to Trace, getting rid of the chant and the Captivating Voice. We'll set up into the Scavenge, pull back the setup, set up into another Scavenge, pull back the setup again, and draw for a 3rd time with setup. What an amazing card. Put Adrenaline back. Will Adrenaline chant Detection. He's not slow enough for a tone, so we are going to have to speed control. We have to trace everything off the top of Laia's deck to dig for Divine Power. And Ratone is chill immune. So we don't need to do shenanigans with Cold Snap and Frost Nova. We can get rid of that. Passing the turn, we'll dig our books out the decks and speed up our colleagues. Rain actually works. He is susceptible to wet. Give Laia the energy. Oh, fantastic. We'll Transmission Laia, Scroll of Intellect. And I still think we Frost Weapons just to give Nezglekt the base damage boost. And we'll do a negligible Frost Nova. We're going to get bailed out here by the Proficient. It's going to draw us into Expected Prophecy. We'll get a discount on Expected. Put the Fortune Telling back. We'll keep getting our discounts from Duality. I think we give the heal to Nez. We'll get another heal. We had a heal coming in. We'll get another heal coming out. and Divine Power. That's a very healthy Divine Power up to 23 Bless. Very good. Okay, we'll pass to Nez and we'll Chilling Gaze, Holy Smite for some Bless, and then Penance. Immune to chill, by the way. We'll flash and flash. Oh, God, I'm so glad to be out of this sub-zone. I'm not taking any of this. Oh, go to Feyborg, he said. Oh, it'll be fun. I'm never coming back here again. This was brutal. Oh, God. We're going to take Freezing Ink, so I don't think it's Ice Orb on Evelyn. I'm going to take Neverfrost on Evelyn. Similarly, I think Eldritch Wand and Ice Orb are quite close. I'm not going to corrupt Old Horseshoe. I know it gives an extra speed. I actually think it might be Frozen Heirloom, just for some more charges, some more chill charges. And then nothing on Andrin. Yeah, ignore everything I said at the start of this act. Feyborg is not fun. I'm not having fun. Oh, thank God. A 5th Thorn Proliferation in a row. We would have been fine because we got the heal, but a 5th in a row would have been horrendous. So, we can think less, obliterate these guys, and then I'll see you shortly. We're skipping to Nez's pop-off turn for this fight. The hand is a little bit cluttered, so I'm just going to get rid of some cards here. Perfect. We got the Chilling Gaze. We can expect it into all of our cards. We can pretty much draw all of our cards with Nezglekt, which is nice. So this Graham is chill immune, but I think we should be okay. That's so good. I like the little delay in the animation, and you can see them in a row succumbing to Chilling Gaze. It's pretty cool animation. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. All right, nothing here, I don't think. And we're nearly there. We'll try and crit succeed here, and I'll see you in the fight. Okay, we're in Feyborg against Feyborg the dragon, which is confusing, so I'm just going to call him the dragon. We should be absolutely fine. He is quite cold resistant, still at 95% resist despite 2 vulnerable. We'll keep applying some vulnerable. And I think we get rid of this rain and a scroll of speed. I'm going to try and get as much chill on him as possible. And I'll ditch Scry and a Helping Hand. I think something like this is fine. Pass the turn. Okay, nice. We'll Shifting Scroll our other Frost Nova. And ditch it. We'll play our Frost Nova. Cold Snap them both back. Very nice. We didn't even need this Scroll of Speed after all. He's slower than Nezglekt, just like this. It's pretty cool. We'll give the energy to Laia. We can't afford the transmission, unfortunately. And Frost Nova, Nezglekt. Okay, we are going to be drawing off the Proficient, so I'm going to start with Helping Hand, just to get some discounts in case we draw into Repair Armor. Okay, perfect. Let's do that. Put back the Scry, I think, and then we can expect it again. Put back Repair Armor. Served us so well, but we don't need it anymore. We'll lay. We'll Fanaticism. Detox. We'll delay twice because of the buffer. Scry the top of Nez's deck. We actually don't need AoE. We're looking for AoE for obviously for the hallway fights. For the bosses, we're just looking for single target damage and Chilling Gaze, which we found. Funnel as much energy into Divine Power and pass the turn. Okay, we're getting his cold resist. He's now down to 20. It was at 95, now at 20. It's pretty good. We'll Chilling Gaze, we'll Fanaticism up some energy, and we're looking for Holy Smite, which we found to kick things off, to give ourselves a bit more bless. Now let's Penance, and we're doing very good damage so far. We can flash, We can flash, and we can flash. Perfect. The dragon is down, and I joke a little bit. I had non-zero fun. In Facebook, I did have a little bit of fun. I don't think we get this adrenaline. We can actually buy another setup. We ripped this setup early on. We could buy another one, so I'm a little bit tempted by adrenaline here. I'm also kind of tempted by Radiant Assault. Priests are starved for single target damage. Ironically, though, I think Penance is better. We get 3 procs for 2 energy. This is 5 procs for 5 energy. So in terms of energy efficiency, I think Penance, if this was Penance, I would take it. But Radiant Assault, I think I may pick it up in Act 4, depending on how many Book of Nightmares I get on Evelyn, because we have to plan how much energy we're going to spend with Nezglekt. And am I going to spend 5 energy on this? Preferably not. I'd much rather spend energy on recurring nightmares that Evelyn donates to Nezglekt. So if we get 2 Book of Nightmares, I probably won't play this. But if we only get 1, then I'll buy this in Act 4. The items here are going to be fantastic, as I mentioned at the start of the act. We'll, of course, take Freezing Ink on Evelyn. This Jade Ring, I would normally snap pick this on Laia. I'd like Laia to be as fast as possible. But in this case, I think I'm actually going to pass because Evelyn naturally goes first. She's 16. Laia naturally goes second because she's also 16, and Evelyn's the frontliner. And if I do put Jade Ring on Laia, I always want Evelyn to go first, and then that forces me to find Chant of Initiative with Andrin. And you've seen so far this act, in some cases I can just not play this, still speed control the enemies down, get off resist reduction and debuffs. And so for that reason, I think counterintuitively I'm going to skip Jade Ring, and then we'll put the Frozen Tear on Nezglekt. Nothing on Andrin, I don't think. We'll take our gold. And then finally, home sweet home. We can go to Velcrath. Oh, thank God we're back in our comfort zone, in our happy place. And as I mentioned, I'm not trying to set a higher score in this run. I'm playing for something different. So I didn't roll this node. We'd much rather this be a corruptor fight than the Rune Master. It gets us much more score. And we're missing the slime node, the rocky bridge up here. So yeah, not a perfect seed for the pathing, but it's not a perfect seed anyway because we're sacrificing 200 points going via Feyborg. And with that in mind, let's rearrange the decks and head into the Act 3 town. Okay, we're about to head out of the Act 3 town. And to start with, I'm actually going to cover the shop. We replaced the Eldritch Wand with this Glacial Hammer. And then on Evelyn, we bought Endless Bag, which will be fantastic because we're trying to chain through Evelyn's deck. So speaking of which, let's start with Evelyn. We took out both Frost Novas, replaced those with Blizzard. This will be our chill application from now on. We'll be looking to upgrade this as soon as possible. We'll guarantee to be able to play this by putting it in the discard pile with Shifting Scroll and getting it back out with Cold Snap, which we changed from yellow to blue. You may be looking at this deck and wondering, why is there an unstable power in the deck? And when do we play this card? Well, that's the neat part. You don't. And the reason this is in the deck is it's a strange choice, but here's the tech. So we really want Evelyn to draw the entire deck. And in Act 3 onwards, she's always going to be a recipient of Expert Tracker from Andrin. So one interesting little technique is that we can actually stack the top of the deck with bad innate cards and Expert Tracker them away, essentially making Evelyn's deck 14 cards instead of 15, because we'll always guarantee just be getting rid of these bad innate cards. You could do the same thing if you don't have enough card draw. You could put Scroll of Speed, Mirror Image, and another unstable power on the top of the deck, have Evelyn's deck be 15 cards. And then once you've cast the Expert Tracker, just ditch them all into the discard pile, and you've basically made Evelyn's deck 10 cards. So if you had 3 card draw, or Bookworms, for example, to pull cards out the deck, you could put 5 bad innate cards on the top of the deck, get rid of them, and then she has a 10-card deck. You have 3 card draw. You're guaranteed to get through the whole deck. Now, typically, and with this Endless Bag, we'll be able to chain through the whole deck with very good consistency, but that's why the unstable power is there. We're never, ever, ever going to play this. But it's just filler. It essentially thins Evelyn's deck, which is pretty interesting tech. And because if you think about it, Bookworm's a draw, Bookworm's a draw, Scroll of Intellect's a draw, Shifting Scrolls take cards out of the deck. That's 5. And then we'll draw 7. And Endless Bag is a draw 3. So once we put Spell Echo in the deck, that'll make the deck 16 cards. So I'll have 15 cards worth of draw, which is why we need to ditch an unstable power, and then we should be guaranteed to get through the entire deck. So it sounds very weird to actively put bad cards, but because they stack to the top of the deck, we just chuck them away to Expert Tracker. Some cool tech there. Andrin's deck is exactly the same, so nothing to write home about here. And then Nezglekt. Did we learn our lesson and play Celestial Brilliance for Thorn's Purge? We did not. After the trauma of Act 2, you'd think he's not going to greed again, you see? And the answer is yes, I'm going to be greedy. And here's why. If we can just get to level 4, okay, on Laia, then Laia is going to have access to Heavenly Justice, which, when you play an attack, it provides you with Purge the Wicked, which is a Purge 2. And Celestial Brilliance is really expensive. It's a lot of shards, and I don't really want to spend that many shards for a tech card. So on Laia, what's the attack that we're playing? I bought a much cheaper card, Shield Breaker, for the Forge boss. And as long as we can survive to level 4, which I think we have a very good chance of doing, then we will be playing Shield Breaker, and you could also do the same thing with Bluff. We'll be playing Shield Breaker just to proc Heavenly Justice once, and then Laia could do a Purge 2 before passing a turn to Nezglekt. And then we don't need to spend like 800 shards on a tech card. Laia's deck is basically the same. On Nezglekt, it's essentially the same. We changed the blue fanaticism to a yellow. So I think that covers everything. Let's head out. I think our Thorn's Proliferation Karma, like, we've paid enough, right? There's no way that we can get that many more. So he says, all right, let's yeah. Okay, this is good. I'll quickly flash up the pathing graphic. Okay, and then I'm going to hop into the final turn of this fight so you can see the pop-off turn. You can see we've skipped ahead to Nezglekt's pop-off turn, and look at how much work this Freezing Ink and Neverfrost has done. We haven't even cast anything yet on Nezglekt, and look at the Wet and Chill stacks on our enemies here. One other thing I'd like to mention is in Laia's discard pile, we didn't touch on Meditate in town. And the reason I took Meditate is, even though I would prefer Enrage at this point in the game, I always like to have one unupgraded expensive card like Blizzard here for Evelyn, Meditate here for Laia. It's significantly expensive to upgrade these. And so in case we get a free upgrade, Meditate goes from being average to very, very good, whereas Enrage is great agnostic of whether it's upgraded or not. So we'll take the Meditate to hopefully eat an upgrade, and we'll get Enrage in Act 4 instead. So that's the thinking there. We'll Chilling Gaze, we will Holy Smite Monty, and then look at this animation. I'm not sure if this is intentional or not, but the animation goes kind of one by one, chains across the enemies. We had one proc there. That was one AoE. I'm not going to take any of this. And we just touched on how we would like to go all the way through Evelyn's deck if possible. And ideally, we do plan in advance. Ideally, we're going to be upgrading this Blizzard to 7. It's going to cost 4 because we'll be cold snapping it back. We can transmission in using Mana Gem energy. And then I would really like to shuffle a Recurring Nightmare into Nezglekt's deck with Book of Nightmares, because it's the best single target damage that Nezglekt can get access to in the late game. And in order to do that, I'm going to need a second Mana Gem, which I'm actively looking out for. And if we don't find it, then I would have bought one in Act 4. So the fact that we caught this Mana Gem here is amazing, because it feeds exactly into our game plan. In the very, very late game, we'll be using Elemental Weaver for an extra energy. So we'll have 9 energy total, and that excess 1 energy I'm planning to put into an equivalent exchange into Laia for overchargeable divine power. So it's always good to kind of map out, plan what do you want the turn to look like. So I'm going to take this. We of course didn't roll the Corruptor, which we would usually roll, but instead we can do always the damn chickens, which gets us a divination. And here, I'm not going to take any of this. And we just spoke about how with our final energy on Evelyn at the very, very end of the game, we would like to equivalent exchange Laia. And actually, this transmission is functionally the same. We're going to be spending 1 energy for 2 energize. So again, just to save some shards down the road, I'm going to take this transmission because it feeds exactly into how we want Evelyn's turn to look like in the very, very late game. And so I'm gonna take it here. And then in the spirit of expediency, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. We're at the Minotaur, and I'm just fast forwarding to Nezglekt's pop-off turn. We'll launch 1 flash out there, draw a couple of cards. Perfect. We have our Holy Smite, and then I think a couple of flashes will just do it. You can see this. Oh, the damage is unbelievable. So we'll keep moving forwards from here. Unfortunately, after the Minotaur fight, we suffer from this curse called the Arena Champion. So luckily, oh, thank God. Okay, we'll be able to take those out right away. Very good. We took the Arena Champions out of everyone's deck. You can see we've leveled up to 4, which I'm going to hold because we'd like to node manipulate the Black Forge. And then we picked up this Scroll of Intellect, blue one. And on Laia, we found Corrupted Expected Prophecy, which is incredible. So let's go and read the books. And I'm going to test which combination gets us through the Black Gates here. Okay, fast forwarding. I tried all the level ups, didn't get it. So I went back to that fight, took a Crescent Light on Nezglekt, and we made it through the Black Forge. Within the Black Forge, we rolled the Rubble node. I'm not going to node manipulate the anvil up here, so I'm going to head south just because we get so many golden shards from the shuffle game. For this Corruptor, it's heavenly armaments, and I'm actually going to take the card remove here, and we'll definitely play Spell Echo. We're going to level up Andrin just to put Riposte in the deck so that we can remove it with this. And believe it or not, both of these are actually really bad. Chosen One, we don't need it. We've got so much vulnerable. Fated Future procs at the start of another hero's turn, so we don't need that. So I'm just going to put the Chosen One into Nezglekt's deck, and then we'll take it straight out with the reward here. Okay, here we are against Old Dwarfface with his reactive laser, and his 392 block. Funnily enough, it's actually good that Wolfie does 0 damage there because it didn't trigger the reactive laser. It's a funny little interaction. Gonna get rid of all this. Speed does not matter. We'll draw into our scavengers and we will trace ourselves looking to ditch a setup. Perfect. We'll scavenge back the setup. And we will scavenge back the free setup again. Awesome. We will uproot detection, and let's take a look at the top of Evelyn's deck. So we don't need speed. I don't think we need shifting scroll. I don't think we need this. We're going to get rid of this transmission, and we'll do it like that. So we have 14 cards in the deck. Oh, that's annoying. We propped the laser, took a bit of damage. We'll dig the books out the deck, and if my calculations are correct, which they often are not, I think we should be able to draw through the whole thing. So we're going to enchant weapons, Nez, transmission, Laia, mana gem. I'm going to put the Spell Echo on Nezglekt because I'm actually not going to Blizzard this time. I don't want to take damage from this reactive laser. So we did draw through the whole deck. I'm just going to pass the turn to Laia instead. Okay, we would like to draw... awesome. This is what I was about to say. I'd like to draw Shield Breaker. He has 281 block. No longer. It's pretty funny. We probably didn't need that, but it's just funny tech nonetheless. Okay, this looks amazing. I don't want to fanaticism ourselves, so probably don't need this either, or that. We'll keep helping hand and draw, putting back the Heavenly Justice. We'll put it back, put this back. We can delay, speed doesn't matter, speed does not matter. Lay on pause. We'll scry first, getting rid of Holy Nova and Fanaticism. We're going to dig for our, we're digging for our cold, Chilling Gaze, cold spell. And this should be trivial at this point. Note that, you know, the Chilling Gaze, it doesn't proc on armor. So it is actually pretty good that we go to the armor here. We'll Holy Smite him. We duplicated our spell. Probably just another Holy Smite will do it. Yeah. Oh, we picked up those spectral missiles, by the way, on Nezi. We found these spectral missiles, which is pretty good repeat damage. It's not dissimilar against the final boss. It's functionally quite similar to Penance, so it's pretty good number of procs per energy. We won't take anything here for the rewards from Doorface. We will take this Aquamarine. I think that'll be nice on Laia for overchargeable divine power. Nothing else. Don't think we need any of this. And we'll keep moving forwards and see you shortly at the Ignado fight. All right, here we go. The magma spike is quite quick, unfortunately, so we're going to have to chant of initiative Evelyn. Speaking of which, probably my #1 achievement in the game has been ascending to the heights of the scoreboard and staying in and around that spot since September of last year. But a very close second is, I play with a lot of American people, and when you play the game with someone for kind of 6-7 hours, they tend to pick up each other's mannerisms. And I've had 3 different teammates say chant by accident instead of chant, which is a source of great pride. Keeping a little spreadsheet, we'll knock them down one by one. Get rid of the books here. I think get rid of all this. Yeah, like this. My wife, to be fair, is American, and she says caramel instead of caramel, which is a source of great tension. But the counseling is helping. And just to be logically consistent these days, I say parallel instead of parallel. And there's a small merry-go-round near our house, also known as a carousel, instead of a carousel. So I'm chipping away. I'm not giving up yet. We'll make a caramel sayer out of her just yet. I'm giving Laia all of the energy here because of overchargeable divine power. I'm going to use this. We picked up this Omen of Peril, so we can actually fetch Lay on pause. I might even get a benediction in Act 4. We'll keep discounting divine power. We'll draw our cards here like this. And we'll meditate up. We'll fanaticism ourselves back up to 10. We'll use this and put a expected back. We'll piercing howl. He's very slow, Ignado, so we can actually just delay. Helping hand ourselves. We'll scry, getting rid of any AoE can all go. We're just looking for Chilling Gaze and single target damage. And then we'll do a huge divine power, 25 bless. Awesome. Pass to the squid. Old Nezi. Can we get the this last card? We will fanaticism, and then we'll just draw it and put that back. We'll Chilling Gaze. We will Holy Smite. Look how much damage that does. We'll flash him, which sounds weird out of context, and then we'll flash him again. Hope the FBI isn't listening. What do we get? Nothing. I don't think we need this Vampiric Tutor. We have the game plan. We're going to stick to it. And then from an items standpoint, yeah, nothing here either. I don't need any of this. So that's Ignado down, and I'll see you in Act 4 shortly. Okay, so here we are against the twins, and Andrin's deck is basically the same, so I'm not going to touch too much on that. We have these friendly tadpoles from Nezglekt's level 5. I'm going to remove the tadpole from Nezglekt himself because of the damage loss, but keep it on everyone else. Evelyn's deck is essentially designed such that we can chain through the entire deck, and for the final bosses, we'll definitely be getting rid of the 2 scrolls of speed because we won't need those for the final 2 bosses, and then guaranteed we'll be able to get through the deck. On Laia, we found a couple of enrages and we bought one in town as well. And because we're generating so much energy on Laia, I took a Divine Guidance as a card reward because we actually have surplus energy. we had more energy than we could Divine Power. We changed our Shield Breaker proc for Heavenly Justice to a bluff just in case we ran into Thorn's Proliferation, so I'm hanging on to this just in case, and then we'll get rid of it for the final bosses. And for this Omen of Peril, I would have got a Benediction, but I realized in town that I actually bought one in Act 1, so it was grayed out. So Omen of Peril is just fetching Leon Pause, and we're casting that for free. On Nezglekt, we are removing a lot of the AoE, so we're now down to Clairvoyance, Holy Nova, and we're starting to mold the deck to be more single target for the final bosses, putting in this Spectral Missiles. I also bought a Meditate in town from Nezglekt, and we'll go through his deck in a bit more detail when we get to the final bosses. We have this Fade as well, as it'll be a really good multiplier. Once we put the Book of Nightmares on Nezglekt, we'll precede that with a Fade to turbocharge it. From an equipment standpoint, in town there was an additional Glacial Hammer. It's pretty good. I mean, it looks very shiny and flashy. It's not as good as it looks. It's just 1 extra chill, all damage +3. It was +3 cold anyway, so it's not drastically different. We picked up the Water Blob on our way here from the Slime Node. And we also picked up an Icy Blob that's corrupted. Again, looks very shiny and flashy. Evelyn's going first, so functionally it's just an additional chill, because there's not really much chill to multiply at that point. So I think that's everything. Let's go through the Twins fight together. I'm going to get rid of a lot of these, I think. Maybe keep the detection like this. And we'll start chaining through the deck. Getting back set up. Making it free as our little tadpole. Probably put Slice back. And we'll get the sets up again. I'm very afraid of... Yeah, perfect. Expert Tracker, we 100% need that. We do not need this Chart of Initiative. So let's draw... Put the Adrenaline back. We'll Wild Hunt. Slice is free, which is nice. Detection, Uproot, and then we Expert Tracker Evelyn. And because we're going to slow them down so much, we really do not need the scrolls of speed here. They're going to be very, very slow once Evelyn's applied all of her chill. So we can just mana gem. We're just trying to clear the hand as quickly as possible to proc our Endless Bag. And I think we should be able to get through the whole deck. I'm going to get cards that draw, preferably. So, or cheap cards. I can scroll a speed, basically anyone. We're going to start giving energy to Laia. Perfect. Transmission. We'll Spell Echo ourselves, and we'll Book of Nightmares Nezglekt. Okay, we have Spell Echoed, so I should Blizzard before I Rain. Easy to forget that. And look, we did get through the whole deck, which is great. Evelyn's already chunking out some good damage here. We'll put our Frost Weapons on the Squid. Multiplying the Wet, and the energy generation on Laia is absolutely bonkers here. So we're going to just go through the deck, keep going through the deck. We'll start proccing some discounts. I think we can Enrage. Yeah, perfect. And I might as well just spend some energy, because we're going to get some energy back as we go. I'll Enrage. Look at this is so crazy. We will put back, I guess, Fanaticism for now. And I guess I can bluff. And we'll Scry Nezglekt, and I think we'll get rid of this friendly tadpole. I do not want this. And I guess we'll Scry ourselves as well. And I think we can afford to get rid of the Heavenly Justice for sure. We can Meditate, and we're up to 7 cards, so I can do this. We will Helping Hand. Look how crazy this is. What is going on? we can slow down Nezglekt with no fear of the of the twins, which is pretty cool. And even then, even right now, I actually have more energy than I can actually generate. I could fanaticism as well. Let's just do that just because. For divine power, isn't that bonkers? So we'll pass the turn. We're on 28 bless. We're multiplying the chill here. We found our chilling gaze. We'll fanaticism. We'll holy smite the back guy because he's the most resistant. And we'll start drawing some cards here. Let's put this back. Let's fanaticism again. Let's draw some more cards. Okay, we found an AoE. So I guess we will start with the Clairvoyance and Holy Nova. There are 2 AoEs and the twins are basically dead. And we'll Spectral Missiles to finish them off. Unbelievable. Here, I don't think any of this interests us. We're basically set for now. Let's take a look in the chest. Archmage book is actually quite interesting on Nezglekt, but I think I'm going to take the Glacial Hammer. And I guess Lightbringer, might as well take that on Laia. It's a marginal increase in damage, and I guess we might as well take Bonk on Andrin too. So that'll be that, and I'll see you shortly. Okay, we've skipped ahead a little bit, and I know I said that I was going to take the hammer, but unfortunately we're not bonking tonight. We did the Archmage book on Andrin instead because Chant of Initiative will draw us a card in hindsight, so I took this instead on Andrin. As for his deck, we took out the detection, we changed these uproots to blue, and otherwise I think he's pretty much unchanged. Laia's deck is outrageous. I think this is the strongest Laia deck that I've ever put together, at least for an OTK style. We have so much card draw, so much energy generation. I actually changed this Divine Guidance to yellow instead of blue. I typically would go blue just to put this in the hand, but we just have so much consistency for our card draw that we just have an additional cost reduction. It gets shuffled into the deck instead of your hand, and we can still draw it, and we can still pump a bunch of energy into 2 divine powers, and it's crazy. Wait till you see the turns here. Nezglekt's deck, we took out all the AoE. I'm confident. I think we can one-shot both these guys. So I took out the Clairvoyance. All the Holy Novas have gone. We're just left with Spectral Missiles, cheap repeat damage to proc Chilling Gaze. We still have our Holy Smite. We have our 3 Fanaticisms. This Demonic Tutor looks good, but it's really not that good. We don't have anything crazy expensive that we are discounting with Demonic Tutor. And I changed 1 flash to blue just in case we fizzle. I don't really want to fizzle, so I changed 1 to a blue. I think we'll have enough energy. What you don't see in Nezglekt's deck is the recurring nightmares that Evelyn's going to shuffle into his deck. And on our way to the bosses, we found another yellow one. So I kind of rejigged Evelyn's deck. You can see it's very lean. 15 cards plus the boon, and I removed the transmissions because I didn't want to fizzle. I wanted to be able to play both of these and Blizzard, and so I changed a Scroll of Intellect from yellow back to blue so that we could continue the Inspire chain onto Laia, which was the job of transmission before. So the transmissions came out. We played Flex, went into Book of Nightmares instead. I still think the other strategy is perfectly valid. And because we're playing 2 of these, I kind of speculated by changing the Bookworm to yellow. Maybe we'll get a discount on the Book of Nightmares just to make sure we don't fizzle. As a reminder, Evelyn has Elemental Weaver. So between that, we can play Rain to get an energy. The Tadpole gets us an energy. We have Mana Gem. So we really don't want to be stuck with Books of Nightmares clogging up our hand such that we cannot proc Endless Bag, which is why we want to keep everything as cheap as possible for Evelyn. So that's the final setup. Let us venture forth, and we'll pick this on Nezglekt, and I'll see you in the final boss fights. Here we are, and can we just appreciate the color coordination of our pets, by the way? Very coordinated. Here's the line. I'm going to trace getting rid of all these, and there's nothing I love more than scavenging back a setup. We're going to play the setup, put our brood back, and scavenge it back again one more time for good measure. Putting back this adrenaline because we already have 3 energy. We'll play Wild Hunt and we'll play Slice, getting back an energy, not that it matters. And then we'll Expert Tracker, getting rid of this Blizzard off of Evelyn's deck. And we'll trace Nezglekt, getting rid of those couple of flashes. So now the goal is to chain all the way through Evelyn's deck, and we're going to do that by playing Bookworm first. We'll Bookworm again, and perfect, getting a discount there. We're going to shuffle Recurring Nightmares into Nezglekt's deck. We're going to give Laia Inspire and Energize. We have both of our cards already in the discard piles. That Shifting Scroll wasn't needed. And now we're going to draw 3, and the last card in Evelyn's deck was a Scroll of Intellect, so we would have guaranteed drawn, if it was any other order, we would have drawn the scroll first and then still got all these cards at the very end. We'll Spell Echo ourselves. I'm not sure if this is correct, but it felt good being able to Blizzard, getting all this wet. All the wet is also going to increase the cold, and then Frost Weapons, Old Nezzy. We'll multiply the wet because of the blob, and we'll pull Leon Pause out the deck, drawing a card in the process because of the Proficient. We're going to start blessing Nez, and we're going to start proccing our discounts. Just watch for yourself. This is just bonkers. Absolutely crazy. We will Enrage, I guess, and I think I'm just going to start with just a full-on Divine Power right now. Look at that. Now we're going to build back up. We're going to Expected Prophecy, putting this Scribe back on top of the deck. Meditate. We will delay, Helping Hand. We can scry Nezglekt one more time. This is pretty good. I don't think we'll do anything with this. And then we can do another Divine Power for 3 overcharge. These are 39 bless. That is insane. This is why I think this is the craziest Laia deck I've made. This is pretty good. We'll pull the Chilling Gaze out of our deck, and I think I'm just going to Fanaticism because I'll draw some cards with Expected, and we'll start with Penance because we want to get him to minus 95 resist, which he is now, and we can Fanaticism. We can oh my god, we can Fade. Let's see how much this Recurring Nightmare does. He's on 7,000. So we faded it. Okay, he's down to 1,000, it's like 6,000 damage. We'll Meditate. We can Meditate. Oh my god, look at this. We can Expected Prophecy. We can put this one back. And check this out. So we could do Holy Smite. That's 2 energy. Spectral, 4. Spectral, 6. Flash, 7. Recurring, another 3. That's a full 10 energy that we have. We could play all these cards. It's almost like we planned for this to happen. Oh, God, I love it when a plan comes together. Look at that, and we'll see you in the Archon fight. Amazing stuff. Okay, I'm skipping to the final turn. You know the drill. You've seen the game plan. And I will say, before we do polish him off, I think a lot of this is Laia enabled. Look at this, 39 bless. You know, I joke that we're one-shotting them, but it is touch and go. This is full glass cannon. And I will say, don't try this at home unless you're feeling like you practiced it or very confident in it. This is not an easy thing to do. So just wanted to put it out there. I don't think that going in with no defense whatsoever is the prudent thing to do. I would normally play like a Ballad of Evasion or Entrench or something and roll into turn 2. But it's fun seeing the big numbers. So I've done this and practiced it quite a few times, which is why I feel comfortable doing it. And feel free to give it a try if you'd like, but just wanted to make sure that was clear. We have our Recurring Nightmare in hand. We have a Recurring Nightmare somewhere in the deck along with a Fade. We'll start with the Holy Smite to give ourselves some more bless, and we'll Expected Prophecy into the deck. Excellent little flash as well, just to keep drawing. And we'll Fanaticism ourselves and draw again. Oh, look at this. Absolutely incredible stuff. We have a couple of cards left in the deck. We can we can start with a fade into a recurring nightmare. Let's see how much damage this does. Not bad. It's not warrior damage. Priests are very hard. It's very hard to do with this with a priest, because warriors, you just get, you know, 50 to 100 fury, and the multipliers are nuts. But priests, and to some extent scouts, just don't have the luxury of the fury generation, so we have to get a bit more creative to put out massive numbers like this. It's still very satisfying, hard to do, and hopefully we subverted your expectations. I assumed people thought I would play him Mind or something like that, but no, cold Nezglekt, finishing off the Archon there. Okay, before we wrap things up, just a couple of things. Number one, these videos I've been showing recently, the genesis of them is that I've been trying to high score with every character as a carry. And so I've been showing some of the more wacky ones like Yoga, Heiner, and Nezglekt, for example. Traditionally, the meta in high scoring has been heavily skewed towards sharp comps. Think Sylvie, for example. So it's been quite fun really going deep in the tank and figuring out, well, can Nezglekt high score? And I think the answer is yes. I'm not saying it's better than the traditional ways, but it is certainly possible, as you can see here. Second thing is just looking at the scoreboard recently, I've seen a lot of new names, which has been very gratifying, which may or may not be because of the video that I released. But if you are watching and trying to push score, feel free to spitball with us in the Discord. I've been talking to Toretto recently, who is making a fast and furious charge up the leaderboard and will no doubt overtake me soon, I'm sure. So thank you for watching. Good luck in your Across the Obelisk runs, and may your Jade Scarabs be bountiful.